And now, our feature presentation.
To infinity and beyond!
My name's Bond. James Bond.
That'll do, Piggy.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Show you with the box. Who's in the box?
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, I'm in.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
Houston, we have a problem.
It's hard to be cool when your dad is goofy. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of 52/1995, your live movie conversation podcast, where we dive deep into the movies of 1995. I'm your host, Cody. I'm thrilled to be joined this week by my co-host, amazing as he is, always, Ryan, to discuss today's movie, which is called A Goofy Movie.
A Goofy movie.
A Goofy Movie. I hardly knew her movie.
I thought we were talking about the Magnificent Ambersons. That would be real messed up.
Orson Welles directed A Goofy Movie.
Oh my gosh,
That'd be incredible. That'd be great. For those tuning in for the very first time, we're so glad that you're here every week, 52 of them to be exact. We explore a different film from the year 1995. We dive into this year's important releases, discuss them in detail, and chat with my guests about their thoughts and experiences with that movie. We're not starting. I got to change my script up. We are in the middle of our theme for October, animated conversation, where each of our movies are animated movies from the year 1995. And hopefully the conversation will be a little bit more animated.
Yeah, man.
But before we jump into the details of this movie, Ryan, thank you for joining us. I'm assuming that you've seen this movie before. This isn't your first time, right?
Many times. Yeah.
Do you remember watching this as a kid?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely not in theaters. Definitely on VHS. Like a lot of our generation found this movie. And also felt for a while that I would bring this movie up because not other people knew it. But now it feels like my generation won't shut up about it, which makes me happy. I mean, I love the movie. Even in the rewatch, I loved it as much as I did as a kid. But now I can't go into a bar without hearing Eye to Eye being played on the touch tunes.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack is bigger than the movie itself, and that is more of what people know. But yeah, such an important part of my childhood.
Totally. And I must have owned it because it was on repeat, or a babysitter owned it, or a daycare owned it, or something.
I am the one that's behind me right now is the VHS from my childhood that I watched over and over again. As I said last week on the Pocahontas podcast, this was one of the two soundtracks that I owned at this time on the white Disney soundtrack cassettes that they had out.
Is your VHS the big white plastic clamshell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also has one of my favorite previews, or Disney did this thing, especially around this time, where they would put music videos before the movie that you were going to watch. Like on The Big Green, I think they sang Timon and Pumbaa sang "Stand By Me."
Stand By Me was everywhere. That was in the theaters as a preview, even though that Lion King 1.5, it was promoting that, which was direct to video, I believe.
Yes.
But it was around for a long time. I think that Lion King was such a hit, they just wanted to money grab fast, but they were making sure you knew Lion King 1.5 was a thing. We don't need a new song. We don't need to bring Menken back. Let's just take Stand By Me, animate Timon and Pumbaa, and just slap it on everything in the world.
And I don't even think they got Nathan Lane back for Timon either. For the Stand By. It was weird. I saw it when we.
You know what they should have done? I forget the title. They really should have taken what Goofy at the Olympics and made that. It should have started for our generation to watch Goofy's best 5
cartoons,
minutes.
like the little shorts. Yeah.
Yeah. Him at the Olympics, I think, is a legendary all-time great Mickey Mouse and Friends cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. It's funny for everybody, I think, adults and kids, all generations. So if they slapped that in the beginning, it would have been a lot cooler, I think.
Yeah, I also when it comes to those shorts, the trailer one, Mickey and Donald and Goofy are all dragging or towing a trailer behind their car, and that's the one with they're eating the corn like it's a
Yes,
it's a typewriter. Oh, it's so good. How do you think? Okay, so we've got this is coming out during the renaissance of Disney. That started with Little Mermaid, and then we get Aladdin or we get Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. So like their Lion King hit after hit after hit here. Pocahontas was supposed to be, we learned last week that was the A team. During this time, that was the A team of animators. The B team was on Lion King. Lion King ended up being the bigger movie.
Oh, okay.
And the C team is what we're talking about today with the Goofy movie.
Yeah, well, and clearly they probably had different, they kind of understood they had different audience streams. So this was, based on Goof Troop was a show. And around this time, too, I remember, you had to have some premium cable. You had to have a bigger package to have the Disney Channel. Right. I don't know. Maybe was the Goof Troop on the Disney Channel, or is it a Saturday morning cartoon? Maybe on ABC. But
I remember it being on ABC, but I never had cable. So I think that one thing that Disney Channel would do a lot of would be like, hey, I'm going to show our shows on the Disney, and then you'll get them in like syndication kind of thing. So I do remember Goof Troop, but it might have been a Disney Channel thing too.
Right. I didn't see a ton of Goof Troop as a kid. I played that video game a lot, which is basically a voxel game. It's really good. So I don't even, as far as this being lower quality, it was much lower budget. It's lower. It's a smaller runtime, but I also don't feel like even it needs to be compared to the Disney greats, because it is like a different section of Disney animated things. Lion King, these are all even Beauty and the Beast being obviously previous IP, and Little Mermaid previous IP. They're not previous Disney IP. So they're trying to create brand new animated movies to sweep the imagination. Whereas this is, hey, we know we've got parents who love the old Mickey Mouse gang. We've got some kids on Saturday morning watching the Goof Troop. Let's do something on the side over there.
Yeah, and this actually, I just learned this today, was not a part of Disney. You think of Disney Animated Studios as doing everything that we see here, even the direct to VHS. That's not true about this. This was its own studio. This is actually the first movie done by Disney Toons, is what it was called. And then everything else, the prestige stuff, was done under Disney Animation Studios. We see that with Pixar and Disney Animation now, where Frozen comes out under Disney Animation. Pixar has all the,
And I remember that phrase. I don't remember the exact corporate breakdowns, but the word toon was used a lot in this era to separate out previous Disney properties like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and Goofy. It was always toon this, toon that. Toons meant old school cartoons that your parents might remember that we're still making content for.
Yeah, so that has to do with
the Lion King a toon.
No, you would not call that a toon.
It's a silly old timey thing where these are animated features.
Yeah. So I think honestly, if I was comparing movies that I watched over and over and over again, this is the one. I think I watched this movie more than Beauty and the Beast. And I used to say Beauty and the Beast, and it still to this day is one of my all-time favorites. But maybe Aladdin gets as much play for me as this movie.
I think Aladdin more than Lion King. I think there's just a lot more cool. Lion King might be a better movie, but Aladdin just has a lot more sequences in there. But this is this goes down easy, I think, is also part of it, right? You're not sitting down to watch a movie when you watch a Goofy movie. It's 78 minutes, it's not even an hour 15. It does feel like a long episode, but it's cram packed with every single shot in this movie is fun to watch.
Yeah, and I
There's
think
not
it's
a boring part.
And it's interesting. Might be some people's first introduction to Goofy. I know I'd seen some of those shorts and everything, but Goofy never had a personality to me. That he didn't have a life. I guess he was just one of the people that hung out with Mickey. Like I mentioned earlier, that short cartoon with him and Donald in it. There's not a lot of talking in those. That's what old tunes were. It's just a lot of slapstick and everything. So this is a lot of people's introduction to a character having
I don't know where I watched Looney Tunes and Disney cartoons as a kid, but I definitely saw a lot. I saw a ton of them. But I wouldn't be able to tell you where. We didn't have them on, if we had anything on VHS, it was, remember we used to be able to buy 6 hours of Betty Boop for $4 on VHS.
Yeah. All those
they'd have those these VHS things were classic cartoons. We've got over 8 hours of like 3 characters you might have heard of, and then like 8 you never have, but they were like black and white cartoons. We used to put those in every now. My parents would be like, just leave me the hell alone. Like, don't come to me till this movie's over. And little did I know that movie's 5 hours long.
Yeah. I remember the Magpies cartoon from one of those, and a lot of Three Stooges cartoons and stuff from those too. Loved those. My grandma got us those when we were young. And it was kind of a hand-me-down to me too. We also purchased, Disney put out like the short cartoons in a VHS form, but they would be packaged as like, these are Goofy's greats, these are Donald's greats, these are Minnie's great, like, and it had all of them. And I think we had like 10, 15 of those individual ones.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever saw one of those as a kid, but I mean, it was on something, whether it was early Cartoon Network or maybe off hours for other channels would buy the rights to some of the old stuff. But I mean, I feel like I saw a lot of Goofy, Donald, and Mickey growing up. You know, and I can remember the classics. Well, even like, I guess in our era too, there was more Looney Tunes, but I can remember like the what's the Porgy and Bess thing though? That's not Mickey and Donald and Goofy, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I remember Sorcerer's Apprentice, obviously.
Fantasia's a big part of this. The re-release of Fantasia comes out during this time. Also, I think Roger Rabbit has a huge influence on watching some of these older movies too. Like, you get Roger Rabbit, who has Looney Tunes and Disney characters in there. You see Donald and Mickey and Daffy and all these people interact. Bugs Bunny, I remember him falling out of a window, and Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse both being on screen at the same time. And that
was a big deal, right? That they had gotten both of them to, like, I don't know, put down the guns and have an armistice for one cameo.
And oh god, so good.
I love Roger Rabbit.
I love Roger Rabbit, and I know that they would put those Roger Rabbit cartoons, I think, on the beginning of what is it? Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. There's a Roger Rabbit cartoon on the front of that one too.
Absolutely.
Speaking of cartoons on the front of movies like this, on this one it's Dr. Looney's Remedy music video from like a kids friendly. You remember they had like Raffi and Sharon Lois and Brom that would do like kids songs. You never had any of that?
It sounds like I've heard somebody talk about it before, but I definitely didn't see any of that as a kid.
But this one had Dr. Looney's Remedy from the group Parachute Express, which was the name of this children's music group. We don't have enough children's music groups anymore. Is that, maybe I'm just not a child and hearing of them? But
this looks like Sid and Marty Krofft. Like,
it's wild. You gotta watch. I recommend to everybody, watch this music video after we're done here, or you can, do whatever. We're gonna keep talking. You can do whatever you want. It's your life. Live it. So let's dive into it and get to know it a little bit better. Take it on a date, and we'll see where we go. This movie is called A Goofy Movie. It came out April 7th, 1995. It is directed by Kevin Lima. He also went on to direct a lot of cartoon stuff, but Tarzan and Enchanted, both Disney movies that
he wrote
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good movies. Like,
he was a big part of Prince of Egypt, which is one of my favorite animated films, co-director there. And then he wrote and directed Brave. I've never been the biggest Tarzan fan, but I acknowledge, there's a lot of good stuff in Tarzan. I
feel like that's a better soundtrack than that's another one where people remember that soundtrack better than they remember the actual movie.
I don't like the Tarzan soundtrack that much. I play the Phil Collins song on at my trivia night sometimes, and I'm like, man, until the chorus hits, this song's kind of trash.
Alyssa will fight you. It's one of her favorites.
I know. People love it. I've heard it. Like, get so excited when it comes on.
Don't even get her started on Mulan. She's all about it. Thank you, Joe, for dropping that in the chat. This was written by Jim Megan, Chris Matheson. These are hard names right back to back. And Brian Pimental. Jim spelled like hymn, like hymn, like a hymnal, which I kind of...
Oh, with an M-N.
Yeah. I was like, JYMN. Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Of course, this stars Bill Farmer as Goofy. He's been the voice of Goofy for the last 40 years, probably. Jason Marsden as Maximilian Goof. Jim Cummings as Pete. Kelly Martin as Roxanne, Rob Paulson as PJ, Wallace Shawn as Principal Mazer, Pauly Shore uncredited in this movie with a very fun fact that I think we'll get to, and Jenna Von Oy as Stacy. Of course, I didn't list out. Aaron Lohr is the singing voice of Max in this. He's better known as one of the Bash brothers from D2.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, now he's married to Idina Menzel. Good for him.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
The synopsis for this movie says, though Goofy always means well, his amiable cluelessness and klutzy pratfalls regularly embarrass his awkward adolescent son Max. When Max's lighthearted prank on his high school principal finally gets his longtime crush Roxanne to notice him, he asks her on a date. Max's trouble at school convinces Goofy that he and the boy need to bond over a cross-country fishing trip like the one he took with his dad when he was Max's age, which throws a kink in his son's plans to impress Roxanne. Speaking of Roxanne, the fit for today is my Roxanne shirt, baby.
That's wild.
Oh my gosh. This movie had a budget of $18 million and a box office return. Not that good, but reasonable. $37.6 million.
It also really didn't go overseas. I read that.
Yeah.
Maybe like the UK or something, but it really didn't get an overseas release.
And this movie has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 64%, IMDb 7.0, Letterboxd 3.7. Roger Ebert has a very funny review of this, because when he went to go see this, he didn't see, it feels like he didn't see it on like opening night or anything. It felt like he saw it the week it came out like everybody else. And there was a bunch of kids in the theater and everything. And the movie ended up not running all the way through. So he gave it a preemptive 3 out of 4 stars.
He only saw 35 to 40 minutes of the film. Then later went back and viewed the entire film and said, 3 stars is about right.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, he said that may be a goofy way to rate a movie, but Goofy is as Goofy does.
Gotta love Ebes.
Gotta love Roger Ebert. Peter Stack of the San Francisco Chronicle hated this. He said it's an incoherent mess that jumps from one unlikely brainless crash bang situation to another. He seems like a fun guy.
He called it, I like that he called it brutal. It's like brutal, such a harsh word for it.
You read that same one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a bad review.
Man, it had bad reviews when it came out, and then I kind of like, I don't want to just say okay boomer to all the bad reviews, but there was a running theme where like it would be a small part of the review where it'd be like, I feel like Goofy deserves better than this, and I was like, oh, this is a lot of people who were like needed Goofy to give them what they got when they were like 10.
Yeah.
Because Roger Ebert mentioned that, Stack mentioned that, somebody else. What Bob McCabe said, harmless enough for Goofy. Pity there's an overwhelming feeling throughout that he deserves better. And then I think like maybe some of these like boomer male like movie reviewers were just like, Goofy's a legend. How could you do this to him? How could you cuck and wokeify my boy Goofy? Like
the original. Oh, Goofy's gone woke.
He's gone woke. He's got feelings now, emotions.
He's got a kid.
Yeah, this kid gets the best of him. So I don't know. Maybe that was part of it. Is that maybe there? I think in the Disney Renaissance, plus it being a kids animated movie and a pretty like small one at that there wasn't just a lot of respect for it immediately by reviewers, but then maybe also they were seeing it through the lens of who they knew Goofy as, where our generation was not.
Yeah. And it's interesting that during this whole, production of this, one, again, it's the C team that's doing the animation for us, but like Jeffrey Katzenberger, who is, responsible for, all these Disney movies that we get from the Renaissance period. In the middle of this time, he gets fired for some reason. But during this, he was like, he kind of came up with the idea for a Goofy movie, like the basic storyline for it, because of him and his daughter taking a similar road trip. But anyway, he kept trying to be like, okay, we don't want Goofy to sound like Goofy. We want Goofy to sound like a regular guy. And like they even recorded Bill Farmer giving like regular, not Goofy's voice in this. They wanted Steve Martin to be Goofy.
At one point, they said, let's bring Steve Martin on and use his regular voice as Goofy. And I think it was Lima who was like, I don't think that's good idea, man. And they went through a bunch of that and went back to like, just do Goofy like you always have done Goofy. And
yeah, they watched it and they were like, no, you're right. That doesn't
I don't think that takes away from the emotion at all. I don't think it takes away from Goofy as like I'm not quite human being, I guess, but like a three-dimensional character. So I don't think that Goofy's regular voice is bad. In fact, Goofy in this movie many times is able to convey so much depth and pain and longing and emotion through his Goofy voice that you didn't need to change that at all.
No, good voice acting, and good voice acting for taking a character that is well known and loved and giving that kind of emotion to him. I mean, that's incredible. I wonder if you could do that with. I mean, we kind of get this with like DuckTales a little bit with Scrooge McDuck. And like his movie, like they put out movies with DuckTales, like the Treasure of the Lost Lamp and stuff like that. So you get a little emotion from a character that we've seen before, but not like this level.
Yeah, and Goof Troop does lead into like it at least coincides, if not leads into the DuckTales and Tailspin kind of era of TV Disney. I didn't write it down, but I did read that they used this movie when they did the reboot of DuckTales in 2017. Which I haven't seen, but I know fans really like. People like it a lot. They took their Goofy movie's approach to Goofy and trying to make him more three-dimensional and have a wider emotions with Uncle Scrooge, which is cool. I think definitely we're far past the two-dimensional slapstick or like one-dimensional character flaw kind of cartoons very much anymore.
Yeah, and I know slapstick goes a long way still with like kids, younger kids and everything. But yeah, like if you're trying to capture a 6 to 12 demographic, then I think kids want a little bit more maybe from this, and maybe not. They want a lot of quick things now, not so much development over. But
if you're going to make a 22-minute DuckTales reboot, then you kind of want to do that. Like nobody wants a half hour of pure slapstick unless you do full shorts, but then again that's not the format for media these days. I was like, then you got to make a YouTube channel or something or a TikTok.
So we're talking about the DuckTales reboot having inspiration from this. Turning Red, the Pixar movie, also drew inspiration from, was a huge inspiration for the woman that wrote Turning Red. If you haven't seen Turning Red, it's a mother and daughter relationship in that movie as opposed to the father-son one in this. Very good movie. I think it's a underseen Pixar movie that deserves
it just occurred to me that Lima went on to write and direct Brave, but that's also the crux of that is a mother and daughter not getting along and coming back together.
There's also the sequel to this movie, an extremely goofy movie, which went straight to VHS. Or DVD, whatever platform it was then, which is actually pretty good movie too. Obviously, it's not a musical.
Yeah, it's not a musical. I rewatched it this morning, and I do have a close friend. Who is about. I mean, she's much younger than me. She's 27, maybe. She's 10, 12 years younger than me or something. And she's like, I like that movie better, but it's also because I grew up on it.
Yeah,
her boyfriend had to show her a Goofy movie, but she's like, no, I like an extremely Goofy movie better. And I was like, that's pretty wild, but I can't take that away from you. Yeah,
it's the X Games. People just love extreme sports.
Oh yeah, a Goofy movie is better than it has a right to be, for sure.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't seen it, Disney Plus just came out with a documentary about the 30th anniversary of a Goofy movie called Not Just a Goof, which explains and goes into details a lot of how they got this movie off the ground, how they made it. It's very fascinating stuff in there. I do recommend watching that. It will pull on some heartstrings as well. Like me watching this movie kind of pulled on some heartstrings there. This movie, of course, has a cult status, just mainly among millennials. You kind of hit on that at the beginning of the show. And then also didn't know if you knew this, but I watched it today in preparation. There's an Atlanta episode.
I didn't know this, but I read it.
It's crazy. It's good. Yeah, I watched it. It's fascinating. So there's an Atlanta episode, Donald Glover's show Atlanta, where I don't know if this. I haven't watched Atlanta. I don't know the plot of it.
Season and fell off, but then I kept hearing about really cool, interesting things they did later on. So if I ever find the time, I'd like to go back and watch it. It was a cool show.
Yeah, there. I don't know if this has anything to do with the plot because the entire episode is just a documentary and a mockumentary about the making of a Goofy movie by the first Black CEO of Disney, which didn't exist. That never happened. And like him going through a full mental breakdown and saying, I'm not here. The Black CEO being like, I'm not here for a long time because he knew he was going to get fired because they're like, we can't keep this guy in there. I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. So let's make the blackest movie we can make.
Nice.
And that's where a Goofy movie came from.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I will say about Atlanta, maybe if people in chat had seen it all, they can say this. Like, I watched the first season, it was very great in the style of FX drama at that time, being kind of creative and taking left turns. But I think that like it starts with a kind of linear plot, and I think then later on it just kind of slowly drifts into anthology stories instead of like constantly following the same characters and their overall arc. It just says let's just do like weird one-off stuff like that, or follow characters for a little while and then follow brand new characters for a while. So I think it's a pretty creative show, and describing that episode is definitely.
It felt like a Documentary Now episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was great. And yeah, if you want to watch that, check it out. Also on Disney Plus, if you want to pimp them out, they need it. Trying to see what else do I have here about their legacy? Nothing. They didn't get nominated for any awards or anything. A couple Annies, but no Oscars for this one. So let's talk about this movie and let's break down what our standout scenes are from this movie. So I'll go with you, man.
Well, after what is a pretty memorable and epic little dream sequence for me, and then an introduction to Max as a teenager and Goofy as a dad, you jump right into an amazing musical sequence after today. And it struck me rewatching this, especially my friends who are not as interested in musicals but will love something like this, because after today, I think a couple other songs on this, after all the non-Powerline songs, which there's only like 5 musical numbers in here. So the 3 like non-Powerline songs that I have friends who don't care for musicals but love this. I'm like, this is way more of a music. After today is way more of a musical song than like anything in Lion King.
It was my favorite song to sing when I was a kid. Like I loved After Today.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives Grease vibes a little bit. I don't know if you catch that in your rewatch, like him standing on the bleachers and everything is very much like Summer Nights.
I do. Yeah, I did think of that for sure. With the bleachers, the introduction of a whole like ecosystem of the high school kids through little one-off things is very opening act to a musical. But there's just something about the melodic rhythms and just the American musical song, I'm sure smarter people than me have like broken this down a million ways. It is just its own very subtly unique drama, and you can just kind of hear this is a stage musical song. Yeah, different than other types of songs that could be like that. And so when I was watching, especially After Today, and thinking about the big songs in Aladdin and A Little Mermaid and Lion King, which have those vibes too, I was like, this has it even more. This is definitely the opening act of a play.
Yeah, we broke it down a little last week when we were talking about Pocahontas. They had, whenever we're talking about musical songs, like there's that I Want song, which is like Part of Your World, and Just Around the River Bend is an I Want song. And then we have that, like, there's like a big show stopping number in there, like Be Our Guest is the showstopper. Trying to think of something like Never Had a Friend Like Me is the showstopper in Aladdin.
Yeah, they're like act breaks too, right? So
yes.
you end or start an act with something like that. So there's those rhythms too, and I don't know if it's something about like Menken and his partners like style that like they're like that, but there's a polish on top of it that makes you not feel like it's just like watching an old musical too. Just Around the River Bend works as a headphone song in a way that like a lot of people would be turned off by musicals in your headphones. Yeah.
So I do like that what this movie does. I think this is for an older audience than those other movies that we're talking about. I think you get that with the way Max acts towards his dad. I think you get that with the first opening number song there, where they're going through his high school, all the jocks and the preps and the nerds and all that stuff are in the background here.
Definitely for an older audience. I'll just throw this out here because I think Goofy is worse than Max in this movie. and I feel like the movie thinks Max is worse than Goofy.
Okay, I like that.
And I think that's what I get for it being kind of for an older audience a little more than other stuff, because I think the movie wants it to be like, isn't Max a little brat? And I'm like, I don't know, man. He's like, God, Goofy is more of a like not listening to anybody, not compromising with anybody, kind of dad who's ignored his kid. Maybe doesn't know what's going on in his life or what he's interested in at all, and then all of a sudden has a crisis and has to like force his kid to be exactly like he was when he was a kid. And Max is like, I'm not trying to stop you from being you. You just got to give me a little space the whole time. But maybe lacks as a teenager the communication skills to say that well. Max does some bad things. He's not perfect or whatever.
No.
But I feel like the problems between them stem from Goofy's over goofiness, his exuberance, his inability to stop and think and second guess in the right direction. Causes the problems between them. Anyways, I just wanted to say that when you said like it's maybe a little for an older audience.
For an older audience, and I think this is, we have those Powerline songs in here to that also ages the audience up a little bit, because it's giving them like a little bit of the MTV era that we're talking about. We have a popular R&B artist that's providing the singing, the vocals for that song.
Disney animation at this point, right? Like that is something that's like very special about this movie, is that half the soundtrack sounds like modern pop music rather than Disney music.
Yeah, I remember Tevin Campbell. Before this movie, my sister, again, being a huge influence on me with music and movies and all those things. But I remember her having a Tevin Campbell cassette tapes. And, she had Tevin Campbell cassettes, and CNC Music Factory is another one that kind of gives me inspiration. Prince. I remember
Prince for sure.
Prince, obviously.
Skipping the trivia, like a lot of those Powerline tracks were filmed at Paisley, were recorded at Paisley Park.
Yeah, I loved learning that. That was so cool. So After Today's a banger.
After Today's great.
And I know we kind of skipped into the Powerline stuff, but I really think that especially sets the tone for the musical numbers that we get here. After Today is so good. On the Open Road we get later is good. Like the other Lester's Possum Park is kind of a fun one, but
yeah, it's kind of the throwaway. After Today leads into that's just him going to school, saying that he's sick of he's not going to be a goof, and then he's got plans to win his love, Roxanne, by playing us kind of prank in performance at the school auditorium where he pretends to be Powerline and lip syncs his song, which goes over great.
He goes from not a popular kid to a very popular kid by the end of this.
I guess, what's kind of funny is that it does, because even the tag or the description synopsis you read earlier is like, he's an awkward teenage kid. And he is an awkward teenage kid for 5 minutes of this movie. Mm-hmm. And then he's just a cool kid trying to get back and like get his cool kid rewards for the rest of the movie. He doesn't seem that awkward. I mean, he is when he talks to Roxanne, but like, it doesn't matter. Roxanne's in love with him before Frank is into him. So like his awkwardness is all in his own head. And then he like becomes the hero of the school in the first 5 minutes, which is just like a strange plot thing for a high school movie.
It's great. I'm assuming I read that Max was 14 years old in this, so it's freshman year. So doing this also, this shows how good of kid that Max is. Like he's not a bad kid because he waits to the end of the year to do this. Like this is the last day of school, and I'm gonna do my prank, which is just like performing.
Well, you did that out of like a sense of moral responsibility.
I think he did it because he was so scared to do it any other day.
Like, okay, yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, he's like, this is my last chance.
This is my last chance, the last day of school. Like he has probably thought about doing this for months at this point, and he's like, okay, I gotta do it. This is the last day. Like you hype yourself up to do it on the last day. So I think that does lend to him being like, I never get in trouble. I need to step out a little bit, and this is my idea. If I'd have done this, in the middle of the school year, I'd have got suspended for, or maybe worse, the electric chair, or science slumber parties.
That's a good Wallace Shawn.
Stand out is his performance. It's not only a standout performance, but that's the name of the song that he performs.
I think it could be a better song than Eye to Eye, except it has like the weird talking part in the middle that slows the song down. That makes it more like
sexy.
It is sexy. Don't get me wrong. So like it's not as fluid as a. That's why I think you're always hearing Eye to Eye on playlist and touch tunes or whatever, because it just works like people who don't know what it's from think it's just a song from the era.
Mm-hmm.
But Stand Out's pretty great. When it hits the standout line, you feel thrilled. It goes really big.
I love the reprise too. Like after, he gets in trouble and goes through like the principal's office and everything, he comes out and like they start cheering for him. And then like the standout comes back in there and he goes and does like what is like a Ferris Bueller's montage.
Yeah. When did the animated skateboard montage start? And I don't know if it was a Simpsons thing or whatever. I'm sure it's in a lot of stuff. Cool. Turtles. But yeah, so yeah, they didn't have to do the reprise either in such a short movie, but you're not sick of the song yet because you didn't get to hear the whole thing, and you love that it comes back after all the interlude of him getting in trouble and getting some validation from Roxanne. He skates home to find Goofy, his dad Goofy, packing up their small car with a bunch of camping gear and saying, "Son, I got a call." Well, he doesn't say that I got a call from your principal. But he does get a call. Well, we should just mention real quick, it's not an important scene. The most old school Goofy you're going to get is him with the kids at his job where he takes pictures of little kids. And it's good. Like him swallowing the squeaker, and then like the kid finally stops crying and laughs because every time Goofy makes a noise, he squeaks because the toy squeakers in his throat. It's very funny. Like it still works today.
And then when he passes the kid back to the mother and the mother's like, "You're so good with children," I immediately turned to Alyssa and I said, "Goofy fucks." Like, this guy's getting laid.
Well, see an extremely goofy movie for further proof.
True.
That's how Goof got his groove back is what it should have been called.
How Goofy got his groove back. I love that. No, I love that scene. I think that's probably one of the scenes that I had as like my laugh out loud moment. Not just the Goofy with the squeaker in his throat or anything, but even that little girl as he's talking to Pete, that's like struggling to get off of the
little girl's funny.
So funny.
Which I will say, like, and trying to separate nostalgia, rewatching this movie, what I was surprised about, trying to watch it with a critical eye instead of just enjoying it. I think that there is, with probably a low amount of time and a low amount of money, there was thought put into every shot in this movie. So like, instead of just saying, the kid's running around and then letting the animators screw around, or maybe they just had really good animators who put their best work in, but like finding little funny ways to actually choreograph tiny background bits and what's in the background means that I think you could just pause any frame on this movie and find something interesting or a creative decision being made about how it was done. And I appreciate that so much because it's a Goofy movie. It was barely supported. It's not it's in the era of Lion King and Pocahontas. Nobody had to do that, but they did anyway. So. And
I think that part of that has to go with Kevin Lima. I think it has to deal with the animation team that's on this project. Because it almost felt like they had a chip on their shoulder. If you watch the documentary, that's what it feels like. So it's Disney France animation and Disney Australia animation. And those are the teams. Like they were like, okay, we don't want to mess with this right now. So you're going to work on this overseas, and we don't really care about you that much. So
and maybe they were hungrier too. Maybe they saw what the bigger teams were doing and wanted a piece of that. So people were trying to do their best to kind of move into those positions. But I do think that there is just something to be said about, especially in animated movies, but I think in all movies, kind of like in food, you can be like, oh, that steak was delicious or whatever, but there are like flavors going on that you may not realize that people will look back and be like, I like this song. I like the story being about this, but forgetting how subtle animation choices and little tiny throwaway bits that you've forgotten about like really bring the entire movie together to make it very pleasurable to watch and rewatch.
And these guys were doing the old school animation. They're not doing they don't have the technology that Lion King is using. They don't have the technology that Pocahontas and Toy Story especially are using. Like they're old school on this. They're
you see, I really loved a lot of their flat wide shots that are not just like slow zoom ins or zoom outs, whether it's like the Neptune Inn or all the trucks surrounding the diner where they do like little fisheye stuff with lines to give it so much more character and like this absurdity of like every truck in a million miles is just surrounding this one diner. You don't think about that as a laugh out loud joke, but those little interstitials to put setting or to show you what the Neptune Inn looks like and how ridiculous it is Like that's a lot of work with a little bit of support to just make that one shot look better than it has to.
Yeah, and I you already kind of talked about like the background of these things. Like even Roger Ebert in his review picks up on little things that are in the background of these shots, like an Elvis Presley impersonator that's in the background of the diner shot that you just talked about, or Ariel being like in a goofy version of Ariel being at the Neptune, like the light switch and all this other stuff. Little
amount of time they have using a lot of those high school characters in 2 different shots, and then showing like an arc between them and give them a fuller character, even though like they're not important to the movie. There's just a lot of thought. There's a lot of attention to detail in this movie, which is insane for a Goofy movie.
And I love the character design of the smallest characters in this movie, whether it's the little girl with braces at Lester's Possum Park, or the singer at the
my brain. That little girl, she's so funny. Yeah.
Or the singer that we see twice in this movie from the Powerline concert. We actually see her in Traffic, which I've always heard that people are like, oh yeah, that's the same person. That's the same character in both scenes. And I was always like, yeah, that's just like that's just the joke, the larger woman with the smaller boyfriend or whatever. And then that's her at the end. She's got a picture of her husband on the mirror before she goes on to.
And apparently you can see him like loading equipment. I didn't really catch it.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either.
The voice of Ursula.
Yes, yeah, I thought that was cool too. Such a fun movie.
Anyways, we were talking about the little girl running around in the photo taking scene and how funny that little slapstick is. That's while a conversation's going on to establish plot. But to make those things entertaining in the background takes a little extra, attention, caring about what you're doing. This movie has a ton of.
Yeah. So we got back to Max, and they're, he forces Max to go with him on this trip to Lake Destiny, Idaho, and Max decides he's got
to break his date with Roxanne, but he can't do it. He even though he's, I don't know. She does say like, I guess I'll find someone else, which is a little like, oh man, I really got to. It doesn't force him to lie or anything, but he ends up saying, actually, I'm just going. My dad's taking me to see Powerline live. You can't let me miss that. Oh, and then he has to do an extra lie and say, I'm going to be on stage in the final number.
And I'll wave to you. Yeah.
So that helps him. That helps Roxanne like leave him with a kiss, and then he's very happy. But he walks away, he realizes how much trouble he's in with that lie, and then goes out in the open road with his dad, the Goof.
The Goof. Max got that Riz on the open road. Great song.
Great, it's amazing. Yeah,
I love. Again, this is a song that adds in so many other characters and things going on the open road to pick up on, whether it's the Nashville girls or the dead body or the bride and like so much going on in the screen in the scene. I think that there has to be some influence on Damien Chazelle for La La Land whenever they're doing their little like the traffic jam number at the very beginning of La La Land. I was like, he definitely watched Goofy movie.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. I'll talk more about it later, but the next movie I'm trying to sit down and watch on purpose is Nashville. But a little bit I know about Nashville. I wonder if this also has is getting information from that, the road trip musical.
Yeah, I like that.
On the open road, so great because it's funny. It's a great song. It creates like all of these opportunities for one-off humors. It allows Goofy and Max to say how they're feeling, and very, very well written lyrics, and very funny and character revealing lines. And then it does the thing that all like road songs have to do is give you an excuse to be far away from home without showing every mile that you drove. It's a great like, hey, we're in Act 2 now moment.
The guy tied up in the trunk with the cement shoes, classic.
Oh, we couldn't even list them all. There are so many like cars on that open road that to try to remember like every single one would take a minute.
Yeah, the lady that's in the hot rod with all her cats and everything. Yeah. One thing I like about this song,
lady, I think.
The one thing I like about this song is them singing over top of one another and saying the things that they truly feel. But of course, because they're singing over top of one another, they're not listening to each other at all. And
it's great.
Again, great.
And it's just a good musical touch to go into a bit of a round for a second and then like bring them back together to bring their voices together. I mean, these songs are very well written. And I do think it was, I don't know which review it was, but one of them was like, these songs rival Menken and the other person, Hall, or whoever it is. But like these songs are doing like great work compared to these like new American classics that Alan Menken's doing in these other movies. And I agree. I think they're not called in at all.
No, I love it. I love On the Open Road. It gives us a very fun and our first Goofy song with Bill Farmer singing. He's great. I love him so much. What's your next scene?
Well, yeah, Possum Park, right?
Hell yeah.
Possum Park.
Which
Honestly, I loved it as a kid. I remember it very well. It's the only part in my rewatch where this movie borders on being shrill and annoying, but it's still very funny.
Yeah. And High Hopes.
High Hopes, of course. And the guitar solo.
Lester's Possum Park was always one of my favorite parts of this movie. I don't know why. Maybe it was because of my love of Chuck E. Cheese back then, or I know this is like slightly based on the Country Bears Jamboree and the animatronics there. But I mean, just Max being forced. This is the first stop that Goofy forces Max to go on because this is what he did when he was a kid and everything. And God, I want to know where he's at, to where he's in this hellhole of a Possum Park.
Where who's at? Lester?
No, where they're at, just in geographically.
Geographically.
Yeah, geographically. Where is
worried about like the rest of Lester's career and how
yeah, where is Lester now? That's what I want to know.
I hope he's all right.
He became an alcoholic after Mordecai died.
Yeah, I remember every part of this too. And then there is the other difficult part about this is you do get like the first kind of awkward blow up where you feel Max's humiliation as his dad, as Goofy's like over exuberant and isn't like keyed into like what Max needs in the situation. And then you get the first blow up, teenager blow up. Not the first one really, but I mean, like the first one where it kind of gets in between them in a big way, where Max is mad at Goofy,
throws out
ends up with like, hey, talk to me when the trip's over. I hate this,
Oh yeah, that hurt. That hurt a little bit.
No, it did hurt. There's a lot of moments that hurt in here.
Yeah, he throws that possum hat out the window. Oh, there's one part. There is one little kid in this section that I hate. It's the kid that goes, "Oh, look at that nerd," or dork, and then Dork Junior.
And then like he does the animation thing where he gets closer to his face when he says, "And Dork Junior," and I'm like, "Hit that kid! Hit that kid right now!"
So hard. Max, I know you can do it. You just slapped Lester across the face,
which was a very funny moment where the kids like beat him up and drag him off in the background. That was one of my laugh moments.
That's great. Lester's Possum Park.
So Lester's Possum Park. We got one of the 5 songs there is the Possum song, but it's kind of a silly throwaway song.
Yeah.
But a lot of humorous things, and then their first big fight, which leads to like now Goofy's got his son in the open road. He's passed the first barrier of getting him in the car, and now he's like, well, now that I got him in the car, everything's going to be great. But now he sees his plan's not going to work like he thought. So there's a bit of a crisis where they now have to go camping. And there's another little moment. We're talking about
LPP, baby.
Bill Farmer have doing some emotional acting. Just a small moment where Max is like avoiding his dad, and he sees Roxanne in the swirls of water, and then Goofy's feet like break Roxanne's face up, and he goes, "You want to get some practice in before we get to Destiny Lake?" And he's like so scared to ask him, but he knows he has to. And then maybe this is where he teaches him the perfect cast.
Yes, it is. This is where he teaches him the perfect cast, and Max is not interested. And then Pete shows up with the RV. And
rent-free. That RV lives rent-free in my head ever since I was a kid.
It's got a basketball court. It's got a bowling alley. It's amazing. There's something else that pops out that I was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Hot tub.
Hot tub. That's what it is.
There's like one lounging area, and then there's another lounging area with a hot tub in it.
Yeah, people often talk about the food in these animated movies looking good. No, I agree with you. That RV is sick, and we need to invest in making that happen a reality. Make that a reality. But again, this is Pete keeps popping up to be like, "Hey, you're not parenting your kid right."
Right, and this gives PJ a chance to be like, "Hey, I heard you're going to the concert." Like to have like somebody to remind the audience, probably to remind especially the younger audience, like, "Hey, this thing's still hanging over him. There are kids back there. Everybody knows. They're waiting for him to be on stage with Powerline." But yeah, Pete keeps coming out as a real villain and just getting into vulnerable Goofy's head, and was like, you've got to kick your kid's ass like I do. That's the only way to be a
Goof.
Yeah. He's so good too.
Yeah.
He's like evil John Goodman vibes.
That's a great comparison.
Under your thumb.
Under your thumb, Goof.
I'd be hard to say no to that guy. I think he could be pretty.
He's very persuasive. Very persuasive. It's weird though that they both have the same job.
Yeah, that is weird.
Work at a department store doing photos.
I don't remember what it is in Extremely Goofy, but they both but they both have different jobs.
That's good.
Yeah.
In the original script of this, Goofy was supposed to work at an office.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's not as good. So let's make him a photographer.
Cut to, we're gonna get like the Gregory Maguire like real story where Pete's the good guy all the time, turns into the next biggest musical ever.
Oh God, no! I think it's this is a testament of the times of the '90s when a single dad can raise a child on a photographer at a Kmart salary.
Yeah,
that's what you could do back then. Not today.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the movie, at least, like, well, I mean, Pete's got the big RV, but in the movie, he has a wife and a daughter that are just, in the show, he's got a wife and a daughter that are just erased in the movie.
But what happened?
Invited camping, I guess.
Do we ever know what happened to Goofy's wife, or did he just produce that? Did he produce Max on his own?
Well, I don't think we want to talk too much about Pluto on this podcast. It's a tragic story.
Oh my gosh. Where are you from, Max? After we get Pete and everything, we get Bigfoot. And
amazing.
I thought you were upset at Bigfoot.
I'm upset at how good it is.
It's so good. The Bigfoot,
so
man, when Bigfoot is doing
that, even as a kid, I'd be like, oh, now Bigfoot's gonna do a bunch of dumb stuff, and I'm supposed to care about like the slapstick section. I don't care. As an adult and a kid, Bigfoot was wonderful.
Dude, the sock puppets is comedy gold.
He does like 9 things that are comedy gold in like a 5-minute.
He puts the underwear on his head and like peeks out through the fly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So funny. So funny. Which all this all
when he dances is so funny. He's got like Grinch face on, like the animation changes for his face. It looks like the Grinch.
Alyssa said that this is where she learned that the disco moves is from this movie.
Get Staying Alive.
Oh gosh. I wonder how much they had to pay to get Staying Alive in this.
That's funny, yeah.
I never thought about that. But this is where we get our first like big emotional breakthrough for Goofy and Max here with the Hi Dad Soup scene.
This is at the heart of the movie, right in the middle. The Hi Dad Soup and then the betrayal of the map.
Yeah, changing the map. Ugh.
But I think maybe it's this scene, but there's another scene where he mentions it like, oh, how did you learn to do that to cook soup? Open the can up, and he mentions it. Goofy mentions his dad again, and he goes, "You used to do a lot with him, didn't you?" And he was like, "Yeah." And Goofy sounds like a little sad, like he misses his own father. He goes, "Yeah, we did." But yeah, also he gives all of his food to his son because his son's hungry. He doesn't like split it with him or anything. He just gives him the whole thing. But Max, before he leaves, falls asleep. Leaves a little Hi Dad in the noodles at the bottom of the can.
And he says, "Hi, Max."
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. Or the scene where he's like, used to say all sorts of things like, hi, Dad, or this or that, or I love you. And they both get awkward because they haven't said I love you to each other in a long time.
I kind of was mad at Max during that whole thing because he was like ambidextrous. He's like, yeah, no, not ambidextrous. You fucking.
Yeah, I don't know what that line's supposed to be. Like, I don't know.
He's just saying. Yeah, he just thinks his dad's dumb, and he's saying like bigger words just to be like, "Don't do that, man."
That was a gross move.
Bad mark for him. Yeah, we get him changing the map here, and then we get a montage of.
Well, real quick with the map. I want to say like, I know Carter Burwell worked on this, and then somebody else did a second pass on the music. But some of the symphonic music in this is excellent, and they put emotional tones that in a few notes make me feel things. They make me feel things are scary or sad or like this is a very dramatic moment. Like the first one I can remember is when Goofy doesn't know what to do with his son, and he sees like the big pile of bobbleheads that are like fishers. And that's when he gets the idea to take him on a fishing trip. The music behind that you would think is like the end of Game of Thrones.
It's like Hans Zimmer-esque, like
Yeah, and when the glove box, which pops open like 3 times in this movie, they just need to fix the glove box, but pops open and the map comes out, like the music that comes in, like this is the most dramatic moment of your life, Max.
You'd think a gun popped out, which would have made this a better movie if a gun pops out there. Like, whoa.
Yeah, right. Because that's what it feels like. It feels like a gun, like, something really deadly is about to happen. So I just want to point that out. One of those little details where when this movie uses like traditional score, it uses it like crazy. It's so loud and dramatic, and I love it.
I think the one that, when we're talking about the score and everything, the one that pops out to me, that's a good one. The one with the bobbleheads and everything. I like when they're chasing the car and it ends up in the water and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like that William Tell overture, maybe, is what I'm thinking of. But it's all violin. It's all like violins. And it's very like Western themed, but you know exactly what you're like. They're chasing after this car and trying to get it. No, it's good.
That's really good. Like I wonder if that's Carter Burwell, because the only quote I saw was Carter Burwell, who's a great, score composer, started off with the Coen brothers and then went on to do 100 movies. But because he said that he was doing a Goofy movie and he used a ton of different instruments like fiddle, violin, banjo, and stuff for different scenes. And that afterwards, probably because of the big Disney movie successes, Disney was like, we kind of want some like symphonic vibes to this. And then there was a second person, David Hall, I think, who came in and like did a second pass on the music. So I wonder if that car scene, which is really good, feels more like Carter Burwell being a little more frenetic, Looney Tunes style energy, where the moments I'm talking about feel like somebody who had all the time in the world just to do 3 scenes of just doom,
Yeah. I love it. And thinking of the Coens and things like that, like with the violin, the fiddle, there is a lot of that in this and in a lot of his other movies, especially with the Coen brothers and stuff. So it makes sense.
But now we get into the montage, right? Something changes between them.
And I like this. And I paid attention more to this montage this time around than I ever did because of, it's a montage. It's a throwaway moment. I like the little things, like obviously they're doing things now that Max likes to do.
Yeah.
Like go to the amusement park and everything. But I love that Max during this montage sees that his dad is not having a good time, observes that. And he's like, I'm going to take him to the world's biggest ball of yarn and make my dad's freaking day. Like,
yeah, you give a little, you get a little. Absolutely. And that does show like it's not just, okay, everybody's happy now. It shows like an actual, in a very mild and wordless way, shows like models how their relationship has improved. Max has said, all right, well, I'm stuck with my dad. I might as well make the best of it. His dad says, I'm going to make you navigator. I realize you need more, you need to make this your own like trip instead of just mine, and lets him have some control. So now Max is having more fun. Then once he's been given that control in that respect, he can give it back to his dad. And so, yeah, it's that montage is doing like emotional plot work more than just moving us from the camping to the next, set piece.
Yeah, and then we do get to our new set piece, which is the Neptune Hotel, where we see Pete again. And this is the beginning of why I've always wanted to stay in a themed motel.
Because you want goldfish in your waterbed?
Yeah, well, those fish are dead, right? Those fish are so dead. What a wild waterbed. No, this is it, man. I've always wanted to stay in a themed motel based on this movie, and then like, I want to stay, with under the sea or in the Inferno or whatever other ones.
I'm just realizing there's a few times in it on the open road and what's about to happen next have those, especially what happens next has the big orange canyon vibes. But Possum Park has like the nighttime blue vibes, and then Neptune Hotel, they just decided to make everything like aqua green, like in a dark kind of like nighttime aqua green too, and it's very cool. It makes it stand out from the rest of the movie.
I will also say those kids are the messiest kids ever, because when
so much mess.
when Goofy comes back after talking to Pete, and after Pete found out that Max changed the map, Goofy
another like scary scene, almost scary scene, where he's like, I hate to tell you, Goof. I hate to tell. Check the map, Goof. Check the map,
Goof.
And you can tell Goofy believes him, and he's heartbroken. He goes, no, I trust my son. And he goes, check the map, Goof. It's intense. It is emotionally intense in that hot tub.
Oh my God. And then when Goofy walks in and goes straight to bed, it's so sad. He's so sad. Yeah. I'd be sad too if I walked in, found out that my son, is taking me down a path that I'm not supposed to go to. But there's pizza everywhere.
everywhere.
Like just upside down on the floor. I know this isn't your house, but come on, let's be a little courteous to the.
Chad is right. The cheese. Well, we could have a whole podcast about the cheese animation in this movie because nobody's given this much of a study in animation to Cheese Whiz before. But then also, yeah, the cheese coming off this pizza in the hotel room is pretty. It's nostalgic all its own to a time when we ate real food, I guess.
I posted. We tried to replicate a little bit of it last night. I told you beforehand that we were doing a themed dinner, and we tried to create the cheesiest pizza, and we just could not get the cheese pull on it. Like it just didn't work for us.
I wonder how you do it. I mean, it's got to be 100% mozzarella. Is that what you did?
I mean, yeah, we got slices of mozzarella, like the ball of mozzarella, sliced that up, got this like the good mozzarella, like shredded cheese too, not just the cheap Kroger brand stuff. Like we got the real stuff, just couldn't get it to do the cheese pull.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what we're missing. That back then, the cheese, like the Pizza Hut pizza that I remember back then, it was like a fluffier mozzarella too, right? It like stood up a little more than a lot of pizza these days. But New York slices are very flat and orange and greasy, and they have the pull. They have the most pull. So I don't know.
I'll have to do some more research.
Whatever happened with the cheese pull? It went the way of the fireflies and affordable housing.
More cheese pulls. No kings. More cheese pulls.
Yeah, right. What I like that.
Tillamook failed us. They did. They failed us. But yeah, we did fun pizza last night. We did Cheese Whiz. I made a tiny little tower of cheese.
You make a tower of cheese? That's very cute.
It's maybe like that big. I got that stuff is gross.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I think that's the one bad. Which is gross.
I let it like sit out because I wasn't eating all that cheese, and I picked it up. Like it was like a little mound. I could pick it up. It was solid. After sitting out for like maybe 30 minutes. Yeah. Solid. But we did that. We did like a power line drink, a little champagne and gin and Gatorade. It was a green Gatorade.
Yeah, nice.
There was something else in it. Gin and Saint Germain. Is that what it's called? I think so.
Saint Germain. Good.
Yeah, it was good. It was pretty good. And I didn't highlight it. I made a reel, the Instagram reel about it. But we also made a possum pie, which is yeah. You ever had a possum pie before?
What's in it?
It's just like it's like a chocolate pudding pie with cream cheese on one layer, chocolate pudding, and then whipped cream on top. Delicious. It was so good. Yeah. So that was for Lester's possum pie. Yeah, my bartender had a heavy pour on the drinks. It was a little much, but yeah, it was fun. Good time. But yes, the cheese pull is one of the greatest in history. All dogs go to heaven might have my favorite cheese pull. Oh my God.
And it grabs that cheese and it's just like all the way over. Yeah.
Bastard.
And now trying to get it out of that carpet.
Yeah, that's not my job. I don't work at the Neptune.
Right.
I don't work at the Neptune.
They drag that enormous, like, I don't know what they're doing. They're emptying their toilets into like the hotel bathtub or something.
Yeah, you said it was an extension cord. That is not an extension cord. It's got water leaking out of it. Yeah, there's just fresh sewage that's just coming out of every hole. Gross. Goofy finds out that he changed the map, and then we get to the scene where he has to choose which direction to go.
All right, now
and apparently on the highway or on Route 66, there is a turn for Idaho and there's a turn for LA. So
I also like that the plan never would have worked because there's like 4 signs that make it very clear. It's like Lake Destiny to the right and Power Line to the left. And Goofy's like, well, I'm not the navigator. I assume we're going the right way.
Yeah, why are you doing this, man? Like, you can prove a point all you want, but you know what directions are.
Max is tortured because of the happiness they've had, like the good times they've had. Like in the hotel, they were palling around and stuff. Like he eventually does the wrong thing, but you could tell that he's fucked up about it. He doesn't know what to say, and they almost. They also don't comment on the fact that they almost went right into they scrape up against the guard because it takes them so long to say left or right. And he goes, oh, okay, no big deal. Nothing weird happened there.
And then he's instantly mad at him. The
He's
second
instantly mad. He pulls off the side of the road. And he's like, I can't believe you did this to me. And he's heartbroken. He's not even yelling, you ungrateful kid kind of mad. He's just, I can't even look at you. I'm disappointed, not mad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a full on. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. Look, and then we get the runaway car which is what I was mentioning with the Carter Burwell score earlier with the fiddles and everything. And then we get, them fighting for the first, getting into the river and getting on top of the car and fully having it out and being like, hey, this is what I wanted for us. I don't want you to end up, a bad kid. And he's like, you don't listen to me. I want these things in my life. I never wanted to do this in the first place. And you made
I'm not a little kid anymore. I have my own life now.
I know, but I want to be a part of it.
Yeah. You can, Cody. You just gotta do this.
And the moment he said it, I cried. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I was crying.
This movie gets me. I don't know. Like, I could feel like the backs of my eyes got wet. I don't know. That's a phrase I just invented about I could have cried if I tried, but I didn't. The backs of my eyes were watering up.
We've got some daddy issues.
I think it's just well done. I don't even think it's daddy issues for me.
Yeah,
but I think it's just when you do something that's very I don't know, at some point it's like Joseph Campbell level, like this just hits people, right?
Yeah.
Parents and children, fathers and sons, and having the person that you love the most in the world also not get you and not give you what you need. It hurts.
Yeah. And then we get the song Nobody Else But You, which I think is probably the weakest song out of all of the songs maybe probably better than Lester's Possum Park.
This is my favorite song in the movie.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not like the pop stuff that you get. Like, I think this is when people think of this movie, nobody's saying, oh, Nobody Else But You is my fit. Like, from years ago, we just watched
it fresh. Right now.
I know you are.
This is my favorite song in the movie. I'm not mad at you for what you're saying.
Okay.
Not everybody has my emotional maturity.
I know that. I just want to be a part of it.
Nobody Else But You is great. It's
a great song.
Yeah. The back and forth, like the body language, the way it's choreographed, the things they say. And it is in a very small kids movie has to resolve the entire conflict of the movie that just came to a climax in one song, and it does it. By the end, you're convinced that they've worked it out and figured it out.
I agree. Also, fun little quick note of this. As opposed to On the Open Road, where they're singing over top of one each other, they go back and forth in this song, and then they harmonize together when they're singing the same thing.
And when the chorus hits, every time the chorus hits, it hits so hard. Leading up to the climax of them spiraling around, the last time they hit the chorus is when they go underwater and they pop back up onto the car and they hit the chorus again. Amazing.
I also laugh out loud. I'll save it. We get the, waterfall coming up, and Max saves his dad's life. Goofy saves Max's life, and then Max saves Goofy's life.
With the perfect cast.
With the perfect cast, which is great. And then they're like, let's go to Powerline, baby.
Yeah, that's our destiny.
That's our we're going to Powerline every time we're going to break onto the stage. And then we get the finale.
Very fast.
Very fast.
This is where the movie, you can, up until I guess the car going off the cliff or having to make the left or right thing, it feels like it's paced like a normal movie, and then it gets real fast.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between 90 minutes and it's an extra 13 minutes lost in this movie is probably around that area.
Mm-hmm. And
which is okay. I don't hate it. Honestly, I've seen a million little animated, how are we going to break into the concert kind of sequences. So I'm glad I don't have to watch another 15 minutes of something I've probably seen a lot of before.
Yeah. And you get it all. And you get their own little storyline. They get split up during this, and Max is getting chased by the backstage security guard, and then Goofy's just running around, walking into women's.
It does feel like a 90-minute movie that you fast forward the section through, because it's this happens and then this happens, and now we're here, and whoa, you guys did that real fast.
And then all of a sudden, Goofy's on stage with Powerline because
a good moment where everybody kind of freezes and the music keeps going. Feels very real with every Powerline being confused and Goofy being confused, and then once again, all of 5 minutes after it saved the day earlier, he's like, the perfect cast, which turns out to be a perfect Powerline dance.
Yes.
We're not that different.
We're not.
Yeah.
Powerline, Fisherman, we're not that different. We can heal this country. One thing I hated though is, everybody's at the watch party at Stacy's house, and one of Max's supposed friends, Bobby, is like, "That kid's not there."
Yeah, he was supposed to be his friend.
Yeah, just
That goof kid's not there. I was like, you don't know his name? You're his buddy.
Come on, Bobby, freaking Bobby. Polly Shore.
Stacy's a real one though. She's a real homie to Roxanne.
She is. Oh yeah, I love Stacy. Like whenever that older girl hits on Max at the beginning of this movie, she's like, "Back off." She's Roxanne.
Not for you, girl. He's Roxanne's.
Yeah, so good. Yeah. Eye to eye, and then we, great scene. It's the song we all know. It's the scene we've all seen a million times. Everything, and then they make their way back to their town, and he goes back to see Roxanne. And he lets her know that he was lying the whole time, and this actually was just a happenstance. And it worked, but he did it all for her, And
yeah,
so
he comes clean. Yeah,
he comes clean. She loves him for it. She meets his dad that he's proud of now.
Which I love the little touch too that she said like, I liked you from. That's when she reveals, "I've liked you since the first time I saw you laugh," and does Goofy's laugh, and then Max can't help himself but to do Goofy's laugh before. So the awkwardness, and as a teenager, like you don't see how anybody could love a weird, lame older person, but then everybody eventually does in life, and loves them for those qualities. And he realizes, oh, I didn't need to run away from my dad. I needed to embrace who I was. Because my dad fucks.
Enchanté, mademoiselle.
I love that line. I just love it.
So
it's
good.
the dumbest, most obvious goofy thing. It's like the last line in the movie. Goofy does some slapstick stuff and breaks through the roof on their porch, and then Max introduces him to Roxanne, and perfect Goofy Riz. He says, "Enchanté, mademoiselle," and it made me laugh.
And that's the end of the movie. That's a Goofy movie.
The end of the movie.
All right, who's your favorite character, or is there a Steen Stealer in this movie?
My favorite character is Goofy.
Okay, my favorite character is Max.
Yeah, we got a lot of growing up to do.
Yeah, I love Goofy. Don't get me wrong, but like, if I'm going nostalgia reasons, I loved Max because I thought he was super cool. Like
he was cool, and I mean, we haven't talked enough about that. Like some of the vocal performances, like in the After Today or whatever, or like there's a little gruff to his voice. He's not a perfect singer, but he does seem cool. Like I'm not gonna be a goof. Like you kind of vibe with him, and if you're young watching this, you definitely identify with his need to and belief in himself.
He slam dunks a basketball. He has cool dance moves. He can skateboard. What else is cooler than that?
Roxanne. Yeah.
He's got Roxanne. Like
he's got a cool best friend
who loves him. PJ loves Max.
PJ's a homie too. Yeah.
And there's no transactional relationship there like it is with Bobby, where Bobby is, by whiz only. It's all transactional with Bobby.
He's a paid for friend. I do remember thinking that in both scenes where PJ shows up, he doesn't really help. He just goes, "Oh man, what are you gonna do?" That's all he kind of does. Anyway, you want to go watch pizza? You want to bowl some?
He does start the Max chant though after Stand Out.
Yeah. No, at the beginning of the movie, he's a real homie.
He's homie. Favorite quotes from this movie?
Favorite quotes. Chad already hit the one quoted the most when I was a kid, which apparently was improvised.
Mm-hmm.
But when the nerd yells out, "Yo, Stacy, talk to me, baby,"
which is Rufio.
Oh, that's Rufio who does that?
Yeah, that's Rufio. They were like, "What does a cool teenager say?" And he said, "Okay, I got something." And apparently he stole it from a Jodeci song. That was just says, "Talk to me, baby." So
yeah,
that's the story of that. He's in the documentary for a little bit too. So
yeah. Well, it feels improvised, but it also feels I don't know, it just feels very real and not scripted.
I love that they're Star Trek kids too.
What's that?
They're Star Trek kids because they have the Star Trek uniforms on. I thought
it was always weird that that they made like the two nerd characters also be the one who are like catcalling the body president. I was like, I'm not sure that tracks archetype typically. I mean, not that they would respect women, but they wouldn't be brave enough.
They're incels now.
Yeah.
They're on Reddit. We're good. What else?
There's not a lot that I wrote down. I just will say that there are a lot of lines in this movie I love. Oftentimes they're lyrics and songs, and there's something kind of indescribable about the moment or how they rhyme or how they convey the character's mood that like doesn't lend itself to writing down and reading out loud. So I don't have a ton written down. Another small funny one though that kind of always makes me chuckle. Very simple, goofy slapstick, but when he's excited to go on the road trip and he's backing out of the driveway and he says, "Goodbye, house. Goodbye, mailbox." And then he runs over his own fence and looks out the window and goes, "Goodbye, pile of broken wood." Doesn't even know that it's his own fence.
Broken wood. Yeah, it's so good. I had that one written down too.
Yeah, and then how many cups of sugar does it take to get to the moon?
3.5. I like, again, just going to, this is a more adult, more older kids movie than this, is like when Max is at Lester's Possum Park and he goes, "My life's a living." And then, hello little buddy. Who's your favorite possum?
Yeah, there's lines like that I can't or won't do the act out, but like just live in my head because they're delivered so deeply.
It's kind of like the science slumber parties that Principal Mazer says.
Yeah.
How about science slumber parties? Little stuff like that. When Pete jumps into the hot tub at the hotel, he says, "People are always putting too much water in these things."
Yeah, it's a good old fat joke for Pete. Absolutely.
I love it. As a fat guy, I was like, yeah, I get it. I would say something like that. That's a good line. I got to remember that one. Do you know the perfect cast?
The perfect cast? Do I know it?
You got to stay loose. You got to get relaxed. Keep your feet apart. Now, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:45, tour de jeté, twist, pas de deux, I'm a little teapot, and then the wind up and let her fly.
I never caught tour de jeté until I watched it with subtitles.
Pas de deux. I was like, what? I didn't catch pas de deux. That was the one that was like, oh, good for you.
He likes French, I guess. Maybe
he does like French. Laugh out loud, cry moment, scare, thrill.
I'm on the wrong page. I definitely have some. Actually, we mentioned Bigfoot and the slapping the possum for laughs. We missed all of these, but I did have some what the fuck moments.
I said the Velcro. I said the Velcro diaper was one of my laugh out loud moments. Was when she.
What you're talking about?
So Pete, whenever they're at the beginning of the movie, he slaps Velcro on that girl's butt.
Oh yeah,
and she like escapes, and you see her little naked butt run around. She keeps going, "Fishy, fishy, fishy." Made me laugh a lot.
That is good. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to WTF.
Two things. One, just in movies where they're like. It's annoying where the whole thing could be like, I don't know, if people are just reasonable and talk to each other, it could all go away. Like, I feel like if Goofy, obviously if Goofy had mentioned, hey, you got in trouble at school today, he might have like been able to find out more and not be scared his kid's going to an electric chair or part of gang violence. But then also if Max was like, "Look, Dad, I don't really want to do that this summer, but if you really have to, like, I got my first date with a girl I'm in love with, and it's just next Saturday. Can we like spend the whole summer together after next Saturday?" Then like Goofy would be a horrible father to say, "No, you're right. I did spring on this you today, your last day of school. I just sprung this on you like a week's long trip." So like that's kind of annoying. But I guess you have to make the movie happen. And then the inner kid in me being mad at parents when Pete shows up with the camper and Max goes, "Is PJ here?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm sure he's loafing around somewhere." And he goes inside and PJ's doing two chores at once. He's waxing the floor with his hands and dusting the shelves with his butt. And I'm like, he's not loafing around at all. He's doing a lot of work right now, man. And having a good time doing it.
PJ's a real one, man.
He's a real one.
I love when he's dusting with his butt.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that. That would make dusting so much fun. That's my least favorite chore.
Oh, I hate dusting.
I hate dusting. It
throws
sucks.
stuff out.
What else? Anything else? WTFs? I mean, obviously, lack of communication on both sides. Goofy being super reactive and to the situation. Them just not telling each other those things. Yeah, that's kind of the big one here.
But communication is definitely a big part of their problem, which they gained some over the course of the trip.
Yeah. We already kind of went over best music moment and talked about Carter Burwell. Did you have anything else to add?
No. Yeah, just that Let's Not Sleep on Nobody Else But You. It's a beautiful song.
I didn't sleep on it. I'm just saying.
I'm not telling it to you. I'm telling it to the world.
Tell it to the world. All right. I didn't put down, I skipped over this part. I didn't put down an F, Marry, Kill. because I couldn't think of
Well,
it.
there's Mordecai. There's
Mordecai.
I don't know Petunia, maybe, I don't know.
The lady with the cats in the car. No, I couldn't think of anybody good.
No, there's not an FMK kind of movie.
No, not an FMK kind of movie. I also didn't recast this movie. I know I skipped, but best performance. Who do you think gave the best performance? And I'm gonna say exactly. It's Bill Farmer. Because again, we talk about it. We talked about it like several times throughout this whole thing. Like he's giving emotion to a character that is not known for emotion, and he does it successfully.
I think especially if you're just talking like acting performance, any other character could be 10 times worse than they were, including Max, and the movie still does okay. But if Goofy's not really pulling the weight of what's going on here, then the movie fails completely.
Mm-hmm. No, Bill Farmer does a great job of bringing life to, especially after like being told, "Hey, don't do Goofy, do it in your regular speaking voice," or "Hey, we're gonna get Steve Martin to be an annoyed dad in this, like he's done for in all of the '90s." Like, yeah, and then still get a good emotional performance from him using the Goofy voice and everything. Like, good on him.
Yeah, totally. Goofy carries it.
Yeah, he's amazing. All right. Didn't do a recast because you shouldn't recast it because everybody's still alive and can do it if they wanted to.
I mean, he's still doing Goofy, isn't he? I think.
What now?
Is he? What's his face still doing?
Bill Farmer still does Goofy. Yeah. Jason Marsden's still a voice actor, and
I think what's his face is still doing Winnie the Pooh.
Jim Cummings,
has been Winnie the Pooh since the 80s.
Yeah, and Tigger.
Mm-hmm.
He's all over the place. These are like this is like the murderer's row of
fascinating and crazy. They're enormously talented people that affect our lives a lot of ways and don't get as much credit as live action actors. But the VO world is like small and full of incredible talent, and it's usually filled with a lot more wholesome people than the live actor world is, as far as we know. But so it's always cool every time I look up who does this voice and realize, oh, they do every voice.
Yeah. Rob Paulsen is the voice of PJ, which I mentioned earlier. Rob Paulsen is the voice of Yakko from Animaniacs. He's the voice of Carl Weezer from Jimmy Neutron.
Pinky in the Brain. Although I did notice that he's Haji in the New Adventures of Johnny Quest, and I'm not sure he should be the voice of Haji. Based on his Wikipedia picture, I'm not sure that's a good vibe, but I'm not sure. I don't think that show's on anymore, so he got out.
Jimmy's mom. All right, fun facts about this movie. Did you look up any?
Yeah, we mentioned some. The fascinating one is that they got a couple weeks to polish the film, I guess, but it's because they were capturing the movie, which I guess is a process you do in this level of this era of animation. Once you've got it all together, you kind of have to tape the movie together or build it in a file and then capture it through a monitor. But the monitor they did it on had a single dead pixel on it, so they had to go back and recapture most of the movie,
the entire movie. It's fascinating. Again, if you watch the documentary, not just the goof, they go over that and they show you how they shoot the animation.
Okay, because it doesn't quite make sense to me, but
yeah, no, they go through all of that and show you, and they're like, "Yep, our whole team, we had to do this all over again. We already had it wrapped up and everything. Do it again because the one pixel,
one dead pixel. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. What else?
The Nuns on the Road were a Sister Act reference, and there are caricatures of Whoopi Goldberg and Kathy Najimy in there, which is cool.
That is cool.
I don't know. There's a ton of Disney Easter eggs. I wrote down a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hidden Mickeys. Some of them I didn't really buy, but some of them are obviously there. Mickey Mouse is in a bunch of, not just on the side of the road with Donald Duck, which is an obvious one, but he's in the auditorium at the beginning. He's in the Powerline concert at the end.
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't see them in there. So I wasn't, didn't catch my eye anyway, but they hide Mickeys everywhere. The balloons and one of the cars is hidden Mickeys. And
there's a Mickey Mouse phone at the beginning, but I don't know how fun that is. It's why not? But
it makes sense that Mickey would be in these places because he hangs out with Goofy, right?
Yeah,
they're supposed to be friends.
Actually, new canon lore. When Goofy says, "I'm going on a camping trip with my best friend," Max doesn't say Mickey Mouse. He says Donald Duck. Mickey's that guy. Mickey might be the alpha of the group, but nobody's fucking with him more than they are with each other.
That's right. Kingdom Hearts even displays that a little bit. They work for Mickey.
Yeah.
Donald and Goofy are the friends.
Absolutely.
what else do we have here? Oh, Kevin Lima's goal was to make this like a John Hughes movie.
It feels like one.
Yeah, it feels like one. Especially you got the
especially the ones with younger kids, actually, because it doesn't feel like Breakfast Club, which is high schoolers. It feels more like Uncle Buck or something.
Yeah, it feels like Uncle Buck. It feels like Ferris Bueller. The fun ones,
Yeah.
Not the ones that have a serious tone to them. Other stuff that you have written down.
That's pretty much it. I mean, there's other stuff, but nothing that stuck out to me as so fascinating. Oh, I didn't really see it because I was trying to on my rewatch. I was trying to notice. I did see somebody say that like, based on the map coming out of the glove box, it seems like they started somewhere around Columbus, Ohio.
Spoonerville, Ohio is the name of the town where they're from.
Oh,
it's not a real town.
That's canon, though?
That is canon because that's where they live in Goof Troop.
Okay.
And then it's around Columbus, Ohio is where because I was like, oh, that looked like Ohio because I thought it was Indiana at first.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that it said that because in the rewatch I was trying to notice, but I didn't notice it. I didn't pay attention in that scene at the beginning of the movie where he like lays out the whole map on the like hood of the car in their driveway. It's all over the place, including the East Coast, which I mean, maybe they backtrack to the East Coast and come back or something, but there's no like clear start point on that map. But I think it must be the glove box scene where it definitely seems like Ohio.
Yes, that is where I saw the start of it and was like, yeah, I got to figure this out. So I did look it up, Spoonerville, Ohio.
Which I mean, it's the goofiest state. It makes sense.
I mean, it's so skibbity Ohio that I mean, it just makes sense. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Roxanne's original name in the script was Dolores.
Why?
Don't know. The beginning scene of this movie was modeled after the openings or the American Werewolf in London transformation scene.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. The costume worn by Powerline is a parody of the hazmat suit costumes worn by Devo.
Yeah, that does have Devo vibes.
It does give me Devo. And then my favorite one was Pauly Shore asked for his role to be uncredited because he didn't want Disney to sell the movie on his name, similar to Robin Williams' request for Aladdin.
He was worried that Disney was going to be like Pauly Shore presents a goofy movie.
And I know Pauly Shore's got a popularity during this time. I mean,
yeah, totally.
He has, but not for Disney. They're not. I don't think Disney needs to.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, maybe it's like it could be a conversation that like gets blown into trivia over times. I think that happens sometimes where it's like, hey, you don't want this. Like, it doesn't look like it's a big role. I'm happy to do it. You don't want this to be like a Pauly Shore movie, right? Because this is my brand. And then Disney comes back and was like, no, we'd love for you to do it. We don't want it to be a Pauly Shore movie because we have our own brand. And like everybody, it's like a conversation that happens. But then over time, it morphs into this trivia of like Pauly Shore being like, you better not sell it like a Pauly Shore movie. Which, I mean, maybe that's what he was like because he was dumb and insane. But
question in chat, was the lady with the cat supposed to be somebody? I
think it's the lady from Aristocats, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I think so. Let me see what she looks like.
That's a fun one.
Yes. Well, she looks a lot like the lady from the Aristocats, except the animation's so different that she looks shorter and more plump. And the Aristocats lady looks almost like she's like Cruella de Vil a little bit, like with the angles in her face. But she does have like the same color scheme and white hair do, and then has a bunch of cats who are like all white cats. So it's not a 1-to-1, but that's what I thought. And then Sage, my girlfriend, brought it up without me saying it out loud. She was like, "Oh, that's the Aristocats lady. That's her favorite Disney movie." So they probably kind of knew that they were winking at it.
Yeah, that's a cool Disney movie to be your favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She likes weird things. I'm very lucky.
I mean, everybody wants to be a cat.
Yeah.
All right, like a fine wine and dish, if you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose? I have quite the list. So, what do you have?
I only have one, and it's a really deep cut. And it just popped into my head while I was watching it. There was a made-for-TV movie. I don't think it was a Disney movie, but there was a made-for-TV movie I watched a few times as a kid called Just Like Dad. And it's starring Wallace Shawn as a very nerdy dad and his single father who's raising a kid who's also very nerdy. And the arc of the movie is the kid being ashamed of being a nerd and ashamed of his nerdy dad, but his dad loves him so much and just does the best job of being a single dad and helps him through his bullying problems. And they come together, and he's really proud to have a dad that's nerdy like him. And I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I can't guarantee it's any good, but like I loved it as a kid. I thought it was very sweet. And I love Wallace Shawn. But it's a made-for-TV movie. It doesn't even have its own Wikipedia article.
Wow. I'm looking it up now. I love that Nick Cassavetes is in this movie.
Is he really?
Yeah. He's like the cool dad, or the cool
guy.
guy.
IMDb, I didn't
Yeah.
look there. I wonder if it's on YouTube. Let me look.
Yes, the entire thing is on YouTube.
I might have to put that on and see if it's any good, but I did watch it multiple times. You can see a picture of the kid there too. Like, it is just a nerdy kid who hates being a nerd, and then his dad's so nerdy and has like pocket protectors, and they brush their teeth next to each other every day. And Wallace Shawn could probably take a TV movie that's just cheesy and bad and make it wonderful. I think he's a brilliant actor. I love him so much.
Everybody, while you're at a Wallace Shawn, watch My Dinner with Andre.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. I want to see it, but I've never seen it.
I think it's great, but I don't think most people would really enjoy it very much.
I thought a perfect pairing for this movie would be The Road.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Cormac McCarthy.
Yeah. Talk about an open road.
Yeah, that's an open road. Father, son, on the road.
Now, what I need you to do is rewrite the lyrics to "On the Open Road," referencing things that happen in the road, and then record that version.
I'll work on it. I'll use AI to kill the environment to do it. That's what I do for everything. I also thought the Santa Claus has a little bit of this, like father son not listening kind of thing.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's some stretch.
Obviously, I said not just a goof, an extremely goofy movie.
Yeah, I wrote those down too. And I think there are a million father-son movies like this, and road trip movies, family movies, trip movies like this. And I didn't have the time or take the time to think of a lot of them. When I found the Just Like Dad Gold, I was like, oh, that's perfect, actually.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of them, and I bet with some more thought and exploration, we could find like a really perfect one.
Also, buddy comedy movies. I had Superbad written down as one like that. This often happens. Due Date with Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr. Any kind of road trip movie where it's just buddy comedy movie.
50-50.
Click. 50-50. Yeah, 50-50 works. Click is one that I put down, which I'm like one of the few people I feel like that likes Click as one of those dumb Adam Sandler movies. But
Liar.
Yeah, Liar. See, it works.
Yeah.
We're doing it. We're killing it. All right. On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to rewatch this movie?
4.
I give it a 5. Love this movie.
Yeah.
We both love this movie, but How to Train Your Dragon, that's a good one too. That's another father-son thing. Overall star rating, 1 to 5. You went more critical than I probably did on this.
You'd be surprised. I mean, I went 4 out of 5. I think the thing that kept it, and I thought about giving it 4.5 out of 5. I do think trying to separate my nostalgia for this movie, and at this point, I'm living in a millennial moment where everybody's nostalgia for it is so high that I'm annoyed and would love to trash on it. So separating all of those things away, I still gave a 4 out of 5. I thought about a 4.5 out of 5. I think the thing that might keep it away from a 5 is simply its scope and its time constraints and everything help the movie because it keeps it a small movie about one relationship. And that's what lets it shine a lot. But that also means that it will never have the epic vibes that some Lion Kings, Aladdin, some Miyazaki films do, like these kind of larger than life, speak to our human spirit more than just a simple father-dad, teenage son kind of relationship. So like I got to reserve 5 for something maybe a little more sweeping than this. But I mean, what it does is so good. And I'm very sincere when I say every little detail of this movie is thoughtful, entertaining, it's respectful of its audience and its subject matter. And I couldn't see it being any better.
Yeah, I gave it a 5. And like just you talking about all those other animated films, like this kind of makes me feel like a Disney movie combined with a Don Bluth movie. A little bit like it is very short and quick, but it does give me like American Tail vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, another, father son.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Movie a little bit. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars because of nostalgia, and this was one of my all-time favorite movies when I was a kid. So
well, yeah, I could be talking like I said, I could be talking the 4.5 out of a 5. It's just maybe because it's a smaller thing, it can't topple or keep up with bigger stuff. But man, so good, good. I was so happy that it was so good too.
Yeah, it was a fun rewatch, especially after coming. Like, I've had a lot of fun doing these animated movies. I know we're gonna hit a very different animated movie next week, but going back and watching some of these, and from my late 30s eyes and falling in love all over again and feeling like a kid. And even watching some of the movies, like I watched It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Never seen it. I love Charlie Brown. I've never seen Great Pumpkin and just fell in love with it.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
Oh.
I guess I'll even say, like, I'm trying to talk myself into higher ratings and rewatchability as well, because I can critically say that other movies are better, but between my crankiness and my severe ADHD, like, I can't sit down and love Pocahontas really at all. I think I'd be bored for half that movie. I think that Lion King would be fun to rewatch, but I wouldn't do it again for another 10 years. And it could be an objectively better movie, but I will enjoy rewatching this movie next week before a Disney classic that I loved, that I haven't seen in many years. So there's something about that where it's not wasting my time and it's keeping me locked in.
That's one thing I really loved about Toy Story. Like Toy Story, honestly, like the way we're talking about a Goofy movie kind of comes off the same way. Like you're almost surprised at how short Toy Story is, because I think I think this one's comparable to the length of Toy Story. It's like 70 some minutes, like not very long at all.
And maybe there's something magic in that, because I rewatched Toy Story and I wasn't able to make it to chat for the podcast, but I do agree, because that is a movie that I'd seen a million times and I had every reason to think that I might be a little more bored with it, knowing every single beat, and yet I was locked in on every single beat, and it's because every single beat was thought about completely. They never gave a second where like, well, this is just transitional. It doesn't have to be great. It doesn't have to be interesting. Everything has to be as interesting as possible. So I agree. There's those two things that's in common between those two movies. Yeah.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for doing a Goofy movie with me. I really enjoyed it. I was looking forward to this one. But before we wrap up, have you watched anything else? Recent movie recommendations or books or TV shows? Anything?
I've been watching a lot of movies. I've been on a movie kick. I'll start off saying that I texted you. There's like 24 Robert Altman movies on the Criterion Channel, which they're hard movies to find a lot of the times. So as like 2/3 of his career is up there, I'm trying to maybe watch every Altman movie. I've Nashville's next. I've really enjoyed it. Watched California Split, which I'd seen before. The Long Goodbye, which I'd seen before. Some early stuff he did. I'd rewatched MASH. The Cold Day in the Park with Sandy Dennis is kind of a weird the hidden gem. That was really good. So I'm going to be working on that, and I'm excited because there's a lot of stuff he did that I haven't seen yet, including like A Prairie Home Companion, his last movie, which I've always heard is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really fun. I haven't like gone through a movie nerd director spree like that in a long time. You're a big fan of Nashville, aren't you?
I love Nashville. I love Altman. Every time I watch a new Altman movie I watched The Long Goodbye this past year, and I freaking loved it. I was like, oh God, this is so good. This is Altman doing like his Sam Spade, like here's this type of movie.
LA Noir, because I also rewatched Chinatown this past month, and which is like the LA Noir movie kind of, especially of later years. And I was like, yeah, in an LA Noir conversation, The Long Goodbyes gets slept on maybe a little bit. It's so great. So I'm excited to get into more of him.
I saw a clip just before I got on the podcast of somebody saying like, interviewing this guy who frequently went, I think he might've been a movie journalist or something, who went on sets of stuff. And the guy was like, hey, you were really big in the 80s, 70s and 80s. What was the most coked out set that you went to? And he goes, Popeye, hands down.
Popeye, yeah.
He says, go back and watch that movie, and you'll like with the idea that it is a coked out mess, and you'll understand it. He said it's like running a record player on the wrong speed for. I was like, that's pretty good. It makes me want to rewatch Popeye. So,
yeah, that's also. I'm excited. I haven't seen Popeye since I probably was like too young to even like think about Popeye. So it'll be interesting now to watch it through the Altman lens and an adult lens. There's only like 10, maybe 11 movies of his that aren't on Criterion right now. So I can find, pirate, rent my way through the rest of those. But also shout outs to the first time I was a guest on your podcast covering Shortcuts.
That's true. The first Altman movie I ever watched was Gosford Park, and
which I've never seen.
I love Gosford Park. It's that upstairs, downstairs, that, element of it. We get Downton Abbey, I think, because of Gosford Park.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's so good. I love that. It's a murder mystery. It's great. And so cheeky. Very cheeky. What else? Anything else?
Very cool. I watched The Crow for the first time. Sorry, I missed that one. It's fine, I guess. Sorry that guy died. Whatever.
It's a good action movie.
It's not a great action movie, but it is a good action movie.
It's a good action
movie. But people love The Crow, so I'm kind of trolling. It didn't hit me like it hit them in 2025. It's not hitting me like it would have maybe if I saw it at a different time. I watched Magnolia for the first time and then rewatched Punch Drunk Love because there was those both are on Criterion Channel. Magnolia was great. Punch Drunk Love I don't think has aged as well as I would have thought, but it's still really, really good watch.
I feel like it's getting such a big like push now. And I know PTA just came out with a new movie, but people are talking about how much they love Punch Drunk Love. And Punch Drunk Love's great, but it's getting kind of like a revival now. Like people are
interesting to me because I think that things that came out around the same time, I don't know, just the mumblecore stuff, the Noah Baumbach, the Wes Anderson, even like the Uncut Gems with like Punch Drunk Love feels like it hit hard when it came out. And it did. I was there when it came out. It hit really hard. And it does feel like an early 2000s vibe that still all respect goes to it. Not saying it's a bad movie. It just doesn't hit as hard anymore because we feels like we've had better versions of these like kind of hopeful, kind of quirky, arty indie films about a shy guy who like discovers love and gives him his confidence to like beat up his bullies, but in a 35-year-old midlife, like, hipster mumblecore kind of way. And that's what Punch Drunk Love is.
Yeah.
It's a smaller movie after Magnolia. But it's very good. I liked it a lot. The last one, though, my recommendation for you, I was going to text you about this. I watched a Hong Kong movie called Pedicab Driver.
Okay.
It's really good. And it's a Hong Kong kung fu, like martial arts film that's comedy, drama. The main character is a really fat guy who just drives a pedicab, and he's a real hero. You get a lot of slapstick, a lot of funny dialogue. Great kung fu, and then in the middle, it'll break your heart for no reason, brutally. My girlfriend fell asleep for 30 minutes and then woke up 30 minutes later and was like, "What happened in the movie?" And my face was, my jaw was still dropped, and I was like, "So much happened."
No, I just looked it up. That's a Sammo Hung movie, and I love Sammo Hung. He's always in all those Jackie Chan. He's always like Jackie Chan's friend in all those movies. Whether I think he's in Police Story.
Yeah, like I know the Police Story movies mostly because of you. You know a lot more of the 80s, 90s Hong Kong Chinese kung fu stuff, and there's a lot of that on Criterion right now. I'd like to have the time to watch some more. I just picked Pedicab Driver because I liked the description and was leaving at the end of the month. But I was so happy. I would put it on as a film I might end up half paying attention to. I watched the dub version so I could kind of keep up with it and look at my phone a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great. You should watch it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm in. I love any of that Hong Kong stuff. They like cornered the market on comedy and action. I think that, Jackie Chan and Sammo Hung are responsible for any of the comedic action movies that we get or got in the 90s and late 2000s or in the 2000s. So I'm in. Pedicab Driver. I'll watch it.
Yeah, check it out. I'd love to see at some point, whether it's a documentary or read a book or a podcast. I just know, like, back in the silent film era, all the way back there, Hong Kong had like really good cinema. So outside of Hollywood, like Hong Kong has always been a place where great movies have been made. I wonder with its weird situation geopolitically and economically that it's had up and down times, but it's always kind of resurged as a place for great movies to be made outside of America and Western Europe. So it'd be cool to see like kind of follow some kind of through line of how like movies happened there from the beginning till now. Because honestly, seeing a movie comes from Hong Kong and has made it to my eyes in any way or made it to my ears as an American with a bunch of other media drowning stuff out means that that's a stamp of like quality already.
Yeah, that's where we get all our Wong Kar-wai movies that come from that, and those are beautiful movies. So
yeah, Wong Kar-wai is like an indelible permanent print on like the history of cinema, right? And that's coming
and somebody that pushed it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you weren't supposed to do a lot of things that Wong Kar-wai did, and he got away with it because they were like, okay, this is good. So,
and I'm not an expert in any of it. I'd be interested to see like the political situation now with returning to China or whatever, and what that's done for the movie industry there. I don't know what's come out lately, but
now you just got me in the mood to watch a bunch of kung fu movies. So
there's like 3 different. The person you mentioned who did Pedicab Driver. I think there's a category of movies with him, and there's 2 or 3 others that are kind of from the same era. Some of them more like hard-boiled John Woo stuff, I think, is in there. And then there's a 3rd one there that's on right now. So, and none of them are leaving at the end of the month because I usually keep up with those. So Pedicab Driver is, though.
Okay.
The next couple of weeks.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Anything else?
That's it, man.
I've been, of course, still doing my 31 days of horror, watching scary movies, or scary adjacent. Like I said, I watched It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, Rocky Horror Picture Show this weekend. Love it. And
they were just in Memphis for their 50. I didn't get to go, but my 27-year-old friend who knew nothing about Rocky Horror Picture went to the Orpheum Theater in Memphis, where the original Brad and another character was there for their showing of Rocky Horror. She thought it was a bit much. She didn't really understand it, and I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
The best way for you to learn about it or learn to love it. I don't think you'll ever love it, friend, but
for the 50th anniversary, they just came out with a documentary about it, so I think that's why it's getting a bigger push nowadays.
The Orpheum Theater, it's the biggest theater, outside of like the FedEx Forum in Memphis, so it's definitely a big deal. But also having original cast members doing the shadow cast live on stage and stuff.
Barry Bostwick will do anything for $1, so.
Yeah,
and then I watched a fun little movie called Tragedy Girls. It's not amazing by any means, but it combines Bottoms with Ayo Edebiri and Rachel Sennett. It's kind of like that kind of comedy about these 2 girls that are obsessed with the serial killer, so much so that they start, because the serial killer's not doing things quick enough, they start killing people so that they get more publicity for their blog or whatever. It was fun.
That makes sense. Yeah, I like that.
Cute. I liked it, and it had some interesting kills in there and some fun cameos. So
I canonically don't like horror movies, but I do have a new couple who's a friend. They have a decked out garage that is just like a movie theater. They just open the garage door and there's couches in there and a big projector and mood lighting and its own HVAC setup and fridge. And every Sunday they watch movies, sometimes with their teenage kids, sometimes with just their neighbors and friends. But he's a big horror guy. So last Sunday I went there for the first time and watched Freddy versus Jason. In a couple hours, I might go over there and watch The Evil Dead.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a good context as a not big horror fan to participate in the Halloween festivities.
Those are 2 good, Evil Dead, I would say, is not as funny as Evil Dead 2, but Freddy versus Jason.
I like the Evil Dead movies. I don't care about the slasher stuff at all, but Freddy Jason, and he was like, this is I love this movie so much, but was also happy for us all to make fun of how bad it is.
It's so bad. Yeah. And Kelly Rowland drops the F-bomb on Freddy. He says, I've always liked dark meat to her.
And that happens right after each other. He says that. He calls her dark meat, and all of us gasped and were like, kill him, Kelly Rowland. And then she immediately calls him the F word, and I was like, kill her! Kill each other!
It's so crazy.
And the whole movie, there's kind of like a little date rape scene, or whatever, that was disturbing. But the whole movie wasn't like, oh my God, this is from 20 years ago, a different era. But that the 1-2 punch of those 2 things was pretty rough.
I definitely saw that movie in theaters when I was in high school. So
yeah.
It's classic. Well, you can get more information about that by joining our Discord, or you're always welcome to follow us on Instagram. Check out the account on Letterboxd. All those links are available in a link tree, whether you're watching on Twitch or YouTube. Next Sunday, October 26th, we're going to finish out our theme of animated conversation with our next movie, a little bit different than what we've been doing. We're doing an anime movie, Ghost in the Shell. I've never seen it. I'm looking forward to Ghost in the Shell and watching it. I think it's on Tubi and some other things. So
it's a movie. It is one of the canon anime films that if you're not an anime fan, you should check it out. And I love it personally. It has a little bit of the anime, who cares if this doesn't make sense vibes going on, but enough that this makes sense. And then all of the heightened horror and philosophy and excitement of other thing, Ghost in the Shell, and what am I thinking of? Neon Genesis, maybe Evangelion.
Oh God, that's a hard movie for me. I've tried to watch Evangelion a couple times, and
we got to watch the whole series before.
Yeah.
And it is a difficult watch, but it's so worth it. But Cowboy Bebop's not a difficult watch. Ghost in the Shell has some of those difficult things that you'll find like Neon Genesis, but it is a single movie coming in under 2 hours, I think. So
Yeah.
I think you'll appreciate it a lot. It's good.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It was between when I was doing the animated and picking the movies. It was between Ghost in the Shell and Balto, and I went with
Yeah,
Ghost in the
Balto's
Shell.
great. I think it's cool. I think it's good that you put something in there to like represent a completely different, film style rather than yet another Disneyfied version. But Balto's great.
Yeah, honestly, it was probably between Balto and Goofy movie, and I was like, I'm doing Goofy movie because I get to choose. So. Also, we still have our extra credit theme that we'll be doing Wednesday, October 29th at 6 p.m. It's called Slumber Party, where all of our films are movies that some people might have watched at a slumber party if you were fun, I guess. I don't know. Babysitter's Club, Gold Diggers, The Secret of Bear Mountain, It Takes Two, the Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen Parent Trap-esque movie, and then A Little Princess, which is actually Alfonso Cuarón's first American movie. So.
Whoa, I didn't know that. I've never heard of it. I looked at him. I'd heard of the others. I never heard of A Little Princess. Alfonso Cuarón's first movie. I got to see it.
Yeah, and it's done by the same person, the author of Secret Garden. So
okay, cool.
It takes place in like 1920 or 1910s around World War I. So should be interesting.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate you, all the subs and everything like that. We'll see you next time on 52/1995.
What a year, what a time. Big screens, dreams, a movie rewind. From talking toys to heists gone wrong. We're watching it live and singing along.